Let's talk about motivation. So, first thing, I'm a pretty motivated person, you might say. I think people who know me would say that about me. However, I don't really like this word motivation or the energy behind it or this pursuit that all of us have around getting motivated, being motivated, because I think that's not what it's actually about. So stick with me here. I know you started this because you saw the word motivation. You probably want to be motivated. And I'm going to explain to you how it's not about motivation. It's about something deeper and I think more simple and something more attainable, actually. So first thing is, I'll just tell you that I do lots of things every day that are challenging. And I'm rarely motivated to do them. Right? And I would say that I'm a relatively successful person as measured by my internal state of feeling pretty stoked most of the time and being professionally relatively successful and competent at some things. Right? So I have I would consider for myself, I'm a successful person. I would not say it takes motivation to be successful. I would say that it takes action. Now let me break this down for you. Motivation, I would say, comes from feeling good. Like when I feel motivated, it's because I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling stoked about the world, myself, all those things. Like I'm feeling pretty good. So the question becomes, how do you feel good? Well, that can come from a lot of places. It can come externally from like taking something, whether it's like food or coffee or weed or shrooms or whatever. You can take a lot of things to make you feel good. But I'm talking about feeling good as like something that emerges from the inside out. Maybe regardless of the circumstance, which is kind of rare, I think, but that's ultimately the pursuit of life, from my opinion. So how do we feel good? One place that you can feel good is by being successful at something. What's interesting about being successful is that being successful comes from failure. I mean, anyone that has been immensely successful in the world, when you listen to what they did or how they got there, they failed thousands and thousands of times, regardless of what their pursuit was. They always failed a lot. So success is actually birthed from failure, right? I think it's actually birthed from action, but failure is a part of what happens when we act, when we're trying to do something. So here's what it boils down to for me. If you want to feel motivated, practice, whatever it is. And I know it takes, there's that moment, there's that precipice moment where you know you should do something and you either do it or don't do it. Or if you're like me sometimes, I know I should do it, but I'm just going to do it later. You know, the procrastinator syndrome. That's one of my kind of favorite things to do a lot of times. But it's just practicing, whatever it is. And maybe this is overly simplistic, but just bear with me and I'll share a story with you. So just practice. That's where motivation comes from. It's from practicing and failing and failing and failing. And then you're successful with whatever it is. And then you're like, oh my God, I feel pretty good. Then you're motivated, so to speak. But I think that in the world, especially in the world of professional and personal development and spirituality and all this, the pursuit is to feel good or to be successful. And there's this illusion or this fantasy that I think people talk about around how important it is, or you should feel good to achieve. And I got to tell you, that's not my experience. And it's not the experience of successful people I know. They don't feel good when they're achieving. They do the thing regardless of how they feel. And for someone who's a student and teacher of psychology and a practicing therapist for 25 years, it's not, don't listen to your feelings. You know, when Obi-Wan says to Luke, trust your feelings, don't trust your feelings when you want to do something that you know you should do and it's challenging and you're freaked out. I mean, don't trust them, because what your feelings are doing in that moment is trying to keep you safe and keep you in the familiar world, which for a lot of us, that familiar world is a world of limitation. And for us to feel better and how to get motivated, we need to leave the familiar comfort zone of our limited world in order to achieve the thing that we desperately want, regardless of what it is, whether it's feeling good or getting something or achieving something. We've got to leave the world of the unfamiliar, and it's going to make us uncomfortable. Now, you might say, I'm already uncomfortable. Well, try a new sense of discomfort, right? There is a way, the right kind of discomfort, the discomfort that has you leave the familiar, because in that discomfort that's outside of the familiar, there is some juice there. There's some liveliness there. There's some vitality there. There's a sense of thrill. And it might be fear, actually, for a while. But as we know, anxiety or fear is just excitement or passion without the breath. Right? Is that interesting? I heard that one day, and it really fit for me. So do the thing. Do it. And don't try to be motivated, because thinking, believing, feeling like you need to be motivated to practice the thing you want to achieve just eventually becomes another obstacle. Forget how you feel and just do it. And it's okay if you suck at it, right? It's okay. In fact, it's probably good that you suck at it, because it will have you grow so much and you'll have some great stories to tell. Anyone who's great at anything, I'm sure, has a bag, I know they do, have a bag full of great stories about how they sucked at their pursuit at some point, right? So all this to say, forget about being motivated and just do the thing regardless of how you feel. You've got this for real. And I know I'm just someone from the past, a stranger on a screen, but I really know it in my bones. You, viewer, person, beloved, all right? All my best with you.